We're going to be talking about potentially one of the most unique damage-dealing units inside the entirety of Watcher of Realms. So make sure to go ahead and hit the like button as well as the subscription if you think I earn it throughout this video. And then also go ahead and hit the bell notification so that YouTube lets you know when I upload. Who are we talking about today? Well, as you can tell inside the thumbnail, it is going to be Kalina. So Kalina is a hero that I pulled quite some time ago and maxed her out because I was intending to do a review on her, but then I never got around to it until now. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to make a review on this fantastic looking lady here and see what she's all about. So let's go ahead and take a look at her kit. What does she do? Well, she has a talent that's a bit weird. Cannot make critical hits. Each attack has a 50% chance to deal extra true damage equal to 50% of the hero's attack. So this is quite interesting already. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of her kit. Her skill icon for her basic attack makes it look like she's going to be doing like some sort of dual mode, you know, fireball magic casting. But no, she just does 110% magic damage to an enemy, right? Very basic. She has a passive, increases attack by 40%. When there is more than one enemy in range, each one additional enemy reduces the attack increase effect by 5% down to 15%. So essentially, simply put, you don't want other people in her vicinity when she's trying to do damage. And she has an ultimate, rapidly attacks one random target in range, each hit dealing 60% damage and triggering the talent effect, right? So that's something to consider. She's guaranteed to trigger that talent during her ultimate, which is a 900 cost ultimate that lasts for 8 seconds. After the ultimate ends, she's going to gain stun, where she's stunned for 10 seconds, unable to take action. We're going to talk about the awakenings and stuff here now, right? So A1, the ultimate no longer inflicts the hero with stun at its end. Fantastic A1, right? This makes her kit completely different. A2, attack plus 5%. A bit disappointed by this. I wish it was just a base, like, you know, 200 attack, 250 attack, like a baseline, a flat attack, because she is an epic hero. Their attack percentage doesn't scale quite as well. A3, during the ultimate, the interval of rapid attacks reduces by 30%. A4, rage regen auto plus 1. And finally, A5, for every 5 instances of damage taken from Kalina, enemies receive 1 extra true damage equal to 20% of Kalina's attack. So, what does true damage mean? Well, it basically means she's doing a crap ton of damage based off her attack that is ignoring defenses, right? So it's true damage, it can't be reduced. We see this on other heroes inside the game, like Praetus and Alicia and those sorts of things, as well as like Ingrid with her stacks, the debuff that she can put on that I've forgotten their name apparently. But it's not really that important. That being said, though, Kalina, one cool thing about her is that she is a mage. So that means that she can get the Tear of Twilight, which is like the best in-slot mage artifact for basically everybody in the game. So her attack is going to get increased by a further 30% when she's deployed, which is going to be pretty crazy. And then we're also going to go ahead and put her essentially into my highest attack gear that I have on a mage currently, which is going to be on Praetus. So we're just stealing the artifact as well as the gear from Praetus, and this is going to be the build that we come down to. So 17,000 on the attack, right? 17,200. We have a 1.3 second attack interval because she has 511 attack speed with this. My Praetus is built insanely well. She does unfortunately have 100% crit rate, right? So we don't necessarily care about that. Crit damage we also don't care about because she's just simply not going to be critting. So let's go ahead and take a look at her gear. On the left-hand side, we have Warlord. I'll kind of flip through it and you can see how it looks. I always say this, I'm a free-to-play player. My gear is definitely not min-max. This is a very solid piece, though. If you had better gear, if you're a Kraken or a Whale, you can do even more crazy things with her. But, I mean, realistically, if you're a Kraken or a Whale, you're probably not using Kalina anyways, right? So let's go ahead and see what she's able to do specifically. So the first place we're going to test her is inside Drake's Chasm Nightmare 4 and see what she's able to do. I was testing Xena in here for the last video I recorded, actually. So let's go ahead and take a look at Kalina. She is part of the Esotericists faction as well, which is this one here, I believe, which means that, you know, she's going to have access to some lords, right? So in my case, at least, I only really have Raiden as an option. You can also get Venoma and Cyrus, though, as well. and she'll scale based off of them, essentially. So we're going to go ahead and see what she's able to do inside the Drake's Chasm here. We're not going to bring in any, or Chasm, I guess is probably the way to say it, but, you know, it is what it is. We're not going to bring in any sort of, like, additional craziness here. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to place down Diao-chan. Obviously, if you don't have Diao-chan, Dolores can work perfectly fine as well. And then we're also going to place Pharisee. So we're going to go ahead and just see what kind of damage she's capable of doing here. She's doing about 38, so 40k roughly per hit right now. The damage numbers at the top of the dragon there, you see 21, you see 21, 459, 21, 459, and then she gets the additional proc of 35k on top. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of damage she can do when her ultimate procs. You can see she's doing a lot more damage, right? Like, she's just shooting out her little orbs very, very quickly. And she does actually get up to a 1.4 million damage. So, in all honesty, kind of a disappointing amount of damage out of her, in my opinion. If we place down, obviously, even somebody like an A1 Hex or something like that, they're going to do significantly more damage. And she is in a very, very good build, all things considered, especially with the maxed out tier of Twilight. So that's definitely lower damage than we would like to see. Let's go ahead and see how she compares somewhere like the single target arena, though. So, as you guys are probably aware, if you've seen any of my champion guides by now, I definitely like to test them inside the arenas because I can kind of control the BP levels and all those sorts of good things. It makes it very consistent, essentially, for me to go ahead and showcase these heroes for you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in Olog so that he can go down, be a tank. I should have probably brought in some more heroes on my team, which we'll do actually, just so that we have a higher BP, so it's a little bit more of a fair kind of comparison, because with like 190k BP that we had there currently, she's going to look like a god, I'm sure, with the gear that she has on. So let's go ahead and try this again. Single target. We're just going to remove like this and then bring in Diao-chan as well as her. So let's go ahead and find those. So there's Diao-chan, and here's Kalina. Very, very cool design on her, though, I will say. Like, she's probably one of the more badass-looking epic heroes inside the entire game, which, I mean, there's some really cool-looking heroes in this game, so that does kind of say a lot. What we're going to do here, though, is we're just going to wait until we can place Olog, so probably right around here. And there we go, so we got him placed. He's going to be able to tank the enemy quite easily, so we're going to go ahead. We're also just going to wait until we have the ability to place Kalina. So we're just going to go ahead and place our Diao-chan, get her switched over to the inspiration mode here. Obviously, we do have Praetus on this team as well, so he can proc his Sky Hammer. Now, she is an 18 cost mage, right? So she is relatively expensive as far as mages go. So we are really expecting to see some decent stuff out of her, all things considered, because it's a high cost, right? Now, if you had even more attack on her somehow, she's going to do more damage, obviously, with those true damage procs. But, I mean, realistically, like I mentioned, we've given her some pretty damn good gear here. So if she's not able to do damage, then what are we really doing, right? She does have a very nice ult range, though, where it kind of expands her range, right? So she has the same range as, like, a Comet or an Anora on her basic attacks, and then with the ult that expands out. We're just going to let her keep basic attacking here through wave 1. We're going to pop the Praetus button as well, get some additional damage in there real quick. You can see a naked Praetus with his button is doing basically the same damage per hit as Kalina with insane gear, so that's kind of funny, right? We're just going to let them auto this down. I just want to pop her ultimate on a nice fresh enemy that we'll see on wave 2. Now, keep in mind, there's plenty of heroes that we've tested in here that most people should have, right? Like, out of all the heroes I've tested, you're going to have at least one. So we've tested Silas in here. He does an absolute fantastic job. Xena is the most recent video I did. We've also tested, what is their name? I did a showcase on, like, Ingrid in here at one point. Sargok is an awesome option too, right? That being said, though, let's go ahead and see what she's able to do against this nice, fresh enemy. I could have just put it in 2x speed this whole time, too. It slipped my mind. So we'll go ahead, pop her ultimate. You can see she is bursting in quite a bit more. And her ultimate is coming down to a close, and she did about 3/4 damage to the enemy. I'm not going to lie. To be quite frank, to be honest, that is fucking terrible. That is horrendous. That is terrible damage. That is my god, I wanted to go into this blind because I didn't want to, you know, really spoil for myself what my impression of her was, but that is horrific. For comparison, my Silas, who obviously it's, you know, it's Silas, it's one of the best marksmen in the game, he can easily, like, 2 or 3 tap that mob, and then have plenty of his ultimate left over to go ahead and start whacking other people as well, right? Like, when there's 2 mobs down, she essentially just switches between the 2, and she gets, like, 10% damage on both. This is pretty terrible. So, she's not really useful inside Guild Boss because she wasn't doing high damage there. She's not really useful inside Single Target Arena because she just doesn't do damage there. I can't really think of a use case for Kalina, in all honesty. Super disappointing, though, because I was actually very excited to test her because, again, she's a very badass-looking hero, right? Like, a super unique design. She's got kind of like the wolf headdress there, which is pretty cool. As you can see, though, by the ratings, people are not too overly hot on her. I would say, honestly, she doesn't deserve ratings this high, either. Faction Trial, I can definitely understand that, you know, she'd have a 4 rating in there. We'll go ahead and rate her, actually. Faction Trial, I'll give her a 4. Single target DPS, you just seen what she's capable of. Definitely going to be like a 3. Gear Dungeon 1, probably also a 3. There's better options. Titanic Ruins, definitely not that good. You already, well, she's maybe a 3, because with Titanic Runes, you need a crap ton of attack to do damage, so she's really going to benefit from being built like that. Immortal Codex, is there anywhere that she could be useful? Where are we looking for, like, really strong single target damage that she's not better than anyone else that you'd be using in Immortal Codex, to be honest. Void Rift, a 3. She can help you progress there. Drake's, probably a 2. Nothing too special. Gold Raid, you're really just wanting some AoE. XP Raid, you're also kind of wanting some AoE. Gear Raid 2, she could actually be pretty decent for Gear Raid 2. She's doing magic damage, single target damage. She could definitely help out a bit. Guild War. Guild War doing some magic true damage could actually be pretty good in some team compositions. Artifact Material Raid, that's a 1. That's a 1. Come on, what are we doing rating her a 4.3? That is horrific. Tide, also going to be 1. Gear Raid 3, a 1. What are these ratings? She's a magic damage dealer. Mage inside Gear Raid 3, where magic damage just doesn't really work that well. Why? Why would we rate her? She'll get like a 2 in an anti-air DPS. Gear Raid 1, she's going to get a 1. She's a single target damage dealer. Same thing with AoE DPS. She doesn't do much damage. Super disappointing. That being said, though, let me know if I got it wrong. Let me know if there's somewhere that you use her inside the game and she's an absolute beast. I'd love to hear about it. There is going to be a Discord link down in the description as well. Make sure to go ahead and hop in there if you want to share some Watcher of Realms content or, you know, just talk about it. We also got plenty of Raid Shadow Legends discussions going on these days, and I'm branching into Wuthering Waves content. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.